sorry that I cut out the video. I had to do something IRL. Let me turn Discord off.
Different tick value. So for
Anyways,
the ES,
yeah, let's continue.
one tick, or the smallest price movement it has, is $12.50. And so a point is worth $50. And so this is where you actually see the leverage that the market has. In reality, all you need is $500 to start getting movement on one futures contract. And in general, in just a few minutes, the ES can move up 10 points. That is $500 in just a few minutes. And so you can start to really see the leverage that you can get with these contracts. Now, if that's too much leverage to deal with, what futures have is something called the micro futures. And what this is it's a contract of the same commodity. So for the S&P 500 futures, you're still trading the same thing, but it is 1/10 of the size. The ticker symbol for the S&P 500 futures is ES, and the ticker symbol for the micro smaller version is MES. And so this...
Wait, so... ES. Oh. Okay, what the hell is this? Why is this marked out? This was from... What the hell? Why is this marked out? That's so weird. How is this? Seriously. Why is this marked out? What? What am I looking at? And nothing happened. Well, I'm not sure what it's marking out here. Is it marking out from when it opens? What, Friday to Tuesday? What the hell? I'm not sure why this is marked out, but that's the least important thing right now. Let's go.
1 point is worth...
So ES and MES. Okay, so... No, wait, what? ES. E-mini S&P 500 futures. Okay.
Worth $5, and the margin requirement is also $50. And so you can trade extremely small account size by doing this. And again, it allows you to start really, really small. And then of course, it is really easy to scale up your account as you start to grow it, because all you have to do is buy more contracts. And because the ES futures is the biggest, most liquid market in the world, you are never going to have a problem with trading as many contracts as you want. Now, when it comes to actually trading futures, it is best to day trade them using technical analysis. And what I've actually found over years is the most profitable way of doing this is looking for reversals in the market. Now, a lot of times you'll hear that the trend is your friend, but what I have found is that reversals give you a lot higher risk reward. You don't have to be right very often, but when you do, you get paid really well for it, making you profitable in the long run. Trading isn't about being right every time. It's about consistently making money over many trades. And when you have a good risk-reward ratio, like risking 1 to make 3, you only have to be right a third of the time to be break even.
I'll be writing this down tomorrow because it's quite late right now. And after this video, I'll be watching PJR's bootcamp. And yeah.
And if you're right half the time, you are profitable. And reversal trades do that very well. But to do it consistently and profitable to where you're not just reversing randomly in a strong trend, there is a powerful checklist that I have found to help find these opportunities. Now, the first one of these is top-down analysis. What you want to be doing is looking at multiple time frames. You want to be looking at a larger time frame for the trend and the overall structure of the market, and then zoom into a smaller time frame to actually enter in on the trade. And so for me, I look at a 15-minute chart for looking to where the support and resistance are, and then I zoom into a 1-minute chart to actually enter in on the trade. I like to draw support and resistance zones based on what the market is telling me. So what I mean by that is you can see these highs up here where the market has topped a couple times. I just like drawing off of those and dragging that to the right and seeing where the market bounces off of that. And so as the market comes up to this level and bounces off up here, there's probably a high likelihood that the market's going to reverse off of here. And then once it gets to that area in real time, I jump into a 1-minute chart and look for a few specific patterns to get in on a trade. Now, that's the awesome thing about futures is you can bet the market's going to go up and make money, and you can also bet that the market's going to go down and make money that way as well. if you can find the right spot. And so that is the number one thing, is we want to see the market get to our resistance area, or our area of
So
high
you see
probability
this,
the
right?
market
You
is
should
going
be
to
able
reverse.
to.
Because a big mistake a lot of people make when they're trading is having the mindset of always be in the market. They want to spot every move in the market and try and profit from it, instead of just looking at key areas in the market and consistently profiting off of one pattern and being patient until that pattern shows up. Then once we see the market get up to that level, the number one thing when counter trend trading is you have to make sure that that uptrend is broken, because you don't want to be trying to bet that the market is going to go lower in any of the pullbacks that the market has, when it's just, that's a normal pullback in the market and it's just going to keep going higher. And so what we need to be looking for is a nice support level that the market has confirmed and it's bouncing off of, and you want that to be broken. Because that is a big key that, hey, the market is breaking its uptrend, and that's adding on to the strength of a potential reversal. That is all these are doing, is it's stacking on top of each other things that increase the probability that the market is going to go down. Number one is that resistance. Number two is that break of our downtrend. And then what I found is that really increases the likelihood of the market reversing is waiting for the market to make a pullback that gets rejected in the market. Essentially, all it's doing is making a lower high than the previous one, showing you that the market is done making higher highs, and it could start shifting into lower lows and lower highs, which is a downtrend, and that's what you want to be looking for when you're counter trend trading. And then the final thing is a candlestick pattern. There's a lot of different candlestick patterns that you can use. Now, my favorite one is some kind of engulfing candle. What you can see with these 3 or 4 candlesticks is the market kind of was moving up slowly, and then all of a sudden it just ripped back lower, closing below the last candlestick and almost the one before that. It's a massive red candle showing you that there is big sellers coming into play, and it has started to make the potential of that swing back lower. And so as it finishes, I like to get in on the close of this candlestick. When you're trading, you want to wait for the candlestick to finish forming. So if you're on a 1-minute chart, make sure you have a timer somewhere that shows you how long until the candle is formed. And then when you see that coming to an end, then jump in on a trade. Then there's a few different types of orders you can use. You can use a limit order, which just gets you in at an exact price. So let's say if I want to get in exactly at $37.39, if the price hits that and it fills me, I will get in on a trade, betting that the market's going to go lower. But if the market moves too quickly and blows past that order, I might not get filled. With the market order, if you put it in at $37.39, it could move down and fill you at $37.38. Now, that's not a big deal in the big picture when you're looking for the market to give a massive reversal back lower. And so use whichever one you find that works best for you. Now, let me show you what it's like to actually trade futures in real time.
You guys see this,
I trade this
right?
strategy that I just showed you every day. All I do is look for those patterns every day. And if you can see here, we have our uptrend that is starting to break. And then up here is that resistance zone from a higher time frame. And then the last thing we look for is some kind of reversal pattern or large rejection bar. And so right here, this current massive bar that's going crazy, you can see it punches higher and then punches back lower. And that is a really good signal, because if you read a little bit more into candlestick of what it's telling you is just analyze what the chart's doing here. We see the markets going up, going up, going up, sitting around chopping a little, makes a massive attempt to go higher and gets reversed on. And so that's a really strong key.
Okay. This actually,
I got in on that. You can see here is the curve.
this actually seems so much easier than Forex, because like what? We're just looking for reversal. Like well I mean, I might call this a reversal, but why is it so weird? What is this? Yes. MES. Micro futures. Okay, anyways.
Burn amount I'm up, and then I put my stop loss above the extreme of that high, because you want to have your stop loss protected by the structure of the market. That is the biggest thing about technical analysis, is understanding, hey, we're in an uptrend, and if it decides to go lower, it's going to make lower lows and lower highs. But if it keeps going up, it's just going to continue breaking those highs. And so that is the whole idea of having that stop loss up there initially, is that if that high gets broken, hey, we're wrong, the market's actually going to continue higher, and that's totally okay. Now, for me, I like to manage these trades more aggressively, and so I actually moved my stop to break even here as the market started to move lower in my favor. I like to capture some of those profits. Now, I would suggest having a more fixed profit target when you first start out, but as you get better and better at trading, you can add on managing the trade. And so once the market gets going, and I've moved it to break even, I then like to move it down with the pullbacks. And so here you can see we had a pullback, and I put my stop above that because, again, going with the idea of trading with the trend and sticking with the trend, I'm going to only move my stop loss down with those swings to stay with it. Now, when it comes to trading, I only trade a couple hours in the day. Futures do trade about 24/7, but the first few hours in the day are generally the best in terms of volatility and potential profit in the market. Now you can see the market had a little pullback here, and I moved the stop down again. And I actually have a video that talks more about trailing stops and how to use those if you're interested in that. And the leverage is what allows you to really use this as a beginner. And then a big thing here as well, as you can see, I have a support zone from a larger time frame down here. And of course, what are we going to expect down there? The market's probably going to reverse up. And so because I'm in the trade betting that the market's going to go down, I want to be aware of that and get out of the trade once it gets close to that. And so here we can see that the market is in a really tight downtrend. And once it breaks that, I want to look to get out of the trade, because the same thing with up here, the market broke this at our resistance level. Well, if we have a downtrend down here into our support level and it breaks that, it's likely that the market will find support here. And I want to just get out of my trade and take my profits and run. So here you can see we're starting to get strong bullish bars here. And
These charts look so weird, bro. What the hell? What is this? What am I looking at? Maybe because I'm looking on TradingView, but who knows? Yeah, we saw like a nice reversal here, like, well, that was probably like, how long was this? This was like hours, but still, 205 bars. What?
as we make kind of the final pullback in this move down, I'm going to move my stop loss down above those candles, because if the market decides to, of course, continue back lower and keep going, that's great. If not, I can close out right here up about $600. And that is a great, great trade to profit from. And looking forward, so you can see the market pretty much bottomed right there. Now, if you want to learn more about this strategy in futures, check out this video right here.
Okay.
Yo, what's...
Okay, anyways, yeah. Now that we watched that, let's go to TJR. We set it to 1.5, and then we go.
Good, welcome to boot camp, I believe day 4 now, and today this is going to be another trading
day. It's going to be day 5 for me.
We talked about candlesticks, and then we had 2 talks on discipline. Hopefully you guys learned something from that. Hopefully you guys did your homework. But today we're going to be talking about trends. We're just going to jump right into it. No reason for us to sit around, okay? I have some notes on my phone so I don't get lost in my own thoughts. But we'll just jump right in, okay? So trends within the market. Again, you're probably going to say, oh my god, this is recap. I know we have to cover these super basic, simple shit before... Do I have bedbugs? No, okay. But before we actually get into the difficult stuff, like strategy and actually executing, okay? Because all of these little things end up being like the massive umbrella over these small things that you try and master strategy, you try and master execution, but you don't even know where the trend's going. You can't even read a candlestick, okay? So how do you expect to perform in the market if you don't understand these simple things? So with that being said, let's talk about trends, okay? So the first point that I want to talk about, why do we even care about the trend? Because it dictates where the market is going, okay? Markets move off of momentum, okay? So once market starts trending, okay, odds are it's going to continue in that direction, okay? So what even is a trend in the first place, okay? A trend is literally, it's almost like you have a basketball on a flat surface and you just push it, right? It's going to roll and roll and roll and roll, okay? Because of that momentum that's pushing it forward, okay? Same thing with market, okay? When market gets a little push or a market structure shift, it's going to start trending, okay? So, glitching. This is why I need my PC, which is coming in like 3 weeks, but I ordered it and it's on its way. But anyways, why do we care about the trend? Because it tells us exactly where market's going, okay? So the very first thing that we need to understand is how can we spot a trend within the market? And it's honestly one of the easiest and one of the most simple things taught in day trading, okay? So when market is trending higher, okay? We do this. That was terrible, but when market is trending higher, there we go, put a little cap on it. It moves in higher highs and higher lows, right?
Okay.
It'll look something like this, just with a bunch of little candlesticks in the way, and we'll show real-life examples of this on charts, but, right, this is like a very simplified version of a trend, right? This is a high, this is a low, when it pushes past this high, it makes a new high that's higher than the previous one, and it makes a new low that's higher than the previous one. Okay, so higher highs and higher lows, right? Just like that, and it continues all the way until it breaks its trend. Okay. So same thing with the downtrend, just the exact opposite. Okay, so for downtrends, it is lower highs and lower lows. Oops, that is honestly what a chart could look like though. Schmink, schmink. Okay, that was terrible. I had to do it with like my other finger, but because I don't have a mouse yet. Okay, so right, downtrend, very similar. We have a high right here, then we make a low right here. Let's say make a low here as well. And we have a low right here, right? This low is lower than this one. This high is lower than this one, and it continues. Okay, and it's really easy to see these trends. What? Oh, oops. It's really easy to, well, you guys got the point. It's really easy to see these trends within markets. Okay. So,
Okay.
if we just go to the daily.
I wrote that
right
down.
Here,
I mean,
okay.
yeah.
We see, or this is just a more recent breaking structure. We can highlight this one right here. Okay. So right down over here. Okay, we have, boom, a high, then a low. Boom, what do we get? A higher high, then a higher low. Then boom, what do we get? A higher high, a higher low. Okay, boom, what do we get? A higher high, a higher low. Boom, higher high, higher low, higher high, now lower low because we just surpassed this. So what can we assume that market's going to do now that it broke structure?
It's gonna get into a bearish trend, I think. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, I think that's gonna happen.
Going to flip its direction, right? Let me get all these drawings off of here so it looks better. But you can see that, right, once we broke structure and changed direction of the trend, we continued that for a while, right? And now that we just broke structure, odds are we're going to start trending in the opposite direction for a little bit. Okay, so with this understanding, what can this help us do? Trends give us the overall idea of where market is going. Is it exactly how we are going to execute every single time? No, right? We that's not how we're not just going to go, okay, once the high gets pushed above, we're going to enter a trade, right? That's how you can get stopped out. There's a bunch of problems with that, and we want to optimize our entry. However, the trend is pretty much telling us what direction to place our trades in, okay? Because if market is trending in one direction, why in the world, right? If market is trending to the upside, why in the world would you try and take a trade to the downside? If the momentum is pushing it to the upside, wouldn't you want to ride that wave? Wouldn't you want to, be on, right? It's like if you're in a car, right? If you're in a car and you don't have a gas or a brake pedal and you want to get to a certain point, okay? There's two roads that you can take, uphill or downhill, okay? Which car are you going to get in? The one that's going uphill or downhill if you want to get to the end of that road? You're probably going to want to go downhill, right? Because the momentum will just take you there instantly. Versus if you try and go uphill, you're not going anywhere, right? It's very similar with trading in these trends, okay? You want to be able to follow this wave, okay? Follow the momentum because that's where price is going to go either way, right? There's no reason to try and catch a retracement because one, you don't know how far or how deep that retracement is. Like this, right here. We had a very small low get formed here. And this,
yeah,
a very
then
big
we
low.
had a really big
But
one.
the extension is always the same. The extension always goes past the high, right? We see the high get pushed through, high get pushed through, high get pushed through, high get pushed through. Every single time, high gets pushed through. Okay?
Okay.
So, with that being said, wouldn't it make sense for us to follow that momentum? Okay, so that is our goal. If you can identify a trend, okay, which most of you guys should be able to do that because it's a fairly beginner subject, all right? But you want to follow these overarching trends, okay? And when I say overarching trends, this is where it gets kind of tricky because people get so caught up in all these different time frames, okay? They see different trends on a bunch of different time frames, right? There could be 100 different trend switches and changes on the 15-minute over the course of this weekly uptrend that we outlined, right? There's probably way more than that. There's probably like a couple thousand different trend switches and changes within that weekly uptrend on the 15-minute time frame. And that's where people go wrong a lot of the times. They get so caught up on these small time frames saying, oh, the 15-minute broke structure, but higher time frames hold higher power. If the 4-hour is saying, no, we're bearish right now, it's going to go lower and lower and lower, but the 15-minute just broke structure, why do we care about what the 15-minute is saying, right? We want to use the 15-minute in confluence with the higher trend. So, right, if the 4-hour, if the daily, if the weekly is telling us that market is going to go down, and the 15-minute is telling us market's going to go up, why don't we just wait for the 15-minute to tell us, okay, market's going to go down now? Right? That would make sense because then we can follow the trend of the market, okay, and then also scale down to the shorter term time frames, right? Because we know that these high time frames are going to push price in that direction, but we want an optimized entry, right? That's what I was just talking about. We want to go on these lower time frames and be able to catch the large high time frame trend moves, but with an optimized entry, okay? So,
Okay.
that is why trends are so important. They literally help optimize your entry and help push price in the direction that you want price to go, right? Going against the trend is never smart, and this has honestly been one of my biggest struggles and issues in trading is trading against the trend and trading against my bias. I'm very good at being able to spot, okay, this is where market wants to go. I know where market wants to go on a high time frame. It's pretty easy to spot. However, when I get on these smaller time frames, I'm like, oh, wait a second, this could be a liquidity sweep and then a retracement. But that's the issue, right? We can't be trading off of retracements. We have to be trading off of we have to be trading off of fuck, what we have to be trading off of momentum. I'm sorry, I just spaced the fuck out for a second. Okay, so trade with the trend. The trend is your friend. I know it's stupid, but it's very, very true. Okay, the trend is your friend, and you're probably going to say, well, wait, TJR, I thought you trade off of liquidity sweeps. I thought you trade off of trends changing. Yes, we do, but on lower time frames, right? We trade off of that on lower time frames. So if we see a liquidity sweep, and if we see like a liquidity sweep on the 30-minute time frame, and then a breaking structure to the downside on the 5-minute time frame, and the 4-hour and the daily are saying bear, 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 that's great. That's perfect. That means that we just caught the top of the next leg down. Okay, that's why I trade the way that I do. Okay, so now that we understand how to read a trend, how to spot them, right? It's literally just higher highs and higher lows, and the next trading video will jump into break of structure because that's going to be huge. Okay, I might even do 2 trading videos on that because people do seem to get confused on it, which is pretty interesting because it is a fairly simple concept to grasp. But I do want to make sure people understand it because it is very, very important when understanding these markets and how they move and how structure shifts and how trends form and how, just markets are moving in general. Okay, so the trend is your friend. Trade with the trend, right? Obviously, it's hard for me to say at this point in the boot camp. It's hard for me to be like, yeah, the downtrend. It's hard for me to tell you like exactly where and when to execute code because we don't have all the pieces yet, right? This is just giving an overall umbrella, right? Find that overall umbrella, and again, we need to start on these overarching themes to get lower and lower and lower and more exact so we can be able to master these small precise things within price action, but we have to understand the basics first. Okay, so right, what have we learned so far? We know how to identify a trend, literally higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay, there is another way that market trends, and this just reminded me of it. It's through consolidation. Okay, there's 3 different ways that market moves. Okay, it's either through trends or just consolidation, right? Look at this within here, right? Okay, we see a higher high and then we see a higher low, but right, like this is not a trend.
Yeah,
When do we know that
it's
market's trend? If it continued higher like this, right? But no, it just stayed like this. It was stagnant. Didn't make a move until boom, right here. What happens? Okay, we're making highs. Before this break, we were going higher and higher, right? Then we chop it up. Boom, we break the floor. We break the low. We change market structure, and you'll understand that when we get to the break structure and market structure portion. But we break the low, and then what happens? Okay, we have high right here, low right here, high right here. Boom, market structure shit. Right now, what are we in? We're in a downtrend. Okay, so what can we assume that gold's going to do, right? We came back up here. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. What's next? Probably a lower low targeting this area of liquidity, which we will get into eventually, right? But again, see how I was able to just take a very simple overarching subject and literally, this is, some of you could be trading like this and be profitable. Don't believe me? Fucking try it. Some of you guys can trade this. Ideally, right, we don't trade this way so we get more optimized entries, right, so we can have tighter stop losses, right, so we can get higher risk reward trades. But some of you guys can trade like this. If the shit that I teach doesn't make sense to you, you can still do the basics. Okay? You can still do the basics. Alright? So, there we go. We know how to identify a trend. Okay? We know that it shifts momentum within the market. It shifts market structure. Okay? And it tells us the direction that market wants to go. Okay? We cannot be caught up. Notice how when I identified that trend, again, that trend is on like the 30-minute. Okay? But it's following the daily trend, right? We have boom, high, lower high. We have a low right here and another lower high, and then boom, lower low, another lower high, lower low, probably in the process of forming another lower high just to form another lower low, right? The daily is telling us lower, 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 lower. Perfect. So when we scale down onto a smaller time frame, we can say, okay, where does price want to go? We know on the high time frame it wants to go down. We're on a small time frame. Wouldn't it make sense for us to want to catch, the big massive wave and not these little ticky tacks to the upside, right? We would want to find something that's going down, right? To continue that daily trend, right? So how are we going to do that, right? Literally just finding shorts on a small time frame, and we'll get there. We'll get to the point where we can execute. We're not there yet, okay? Because we just started, and hopefully you guys can be patient with this. But trust me, this will benefit you because I see so many people. There's a reason why you're losing in these markets, guys. There's a reason why you're losing every fucking day because you're not taking these basic, simple, very, very important strategies. Not even strategies, just concepts. You're throwing them out. You're going completely off of liquidity sweep, break off structure, must enter. There's a liquidity sweep and break. I could go on the 1-minute time frame and find a million liquidity sweeps and breaks of structure, all throughout in here, all in here. I could do that a million times within this, right? Okay. Some of you guys are entering off of these little ticky tack things, and it's like no, that isn't going to get you winning trades. That's not going to get you high probability trades. What do you think is more high probability? Taking a liquidity sweep and a break of structure off a purely 5-minute price action, off of purely a 5-minute trend, and maybe like the help and the confluence of the hourly, or understanding where price wants to go long term, maybe on the 4-hour or the daily at least, right? Because we're working with intraday price action. at least know where we're going for the.
He's mentioning intraday, and that's not a thing for Forex. Yeah, he has tabs on Forex, futures, and everything. The thing I don't appreciate about TJR, he started this boot camp. Well, I mean, yeah, that's probably taken for granted, but that he started off thinking that everybody has like some degree of knowledge. Well, I mean, yeah, I probably should have some degree of knowledge, but like I don't understand everything about. I mean, it might sound stupid, but I don't understand where to trade, when to trade, what to trade. He never mentioned any of that. Like he's only going. I mean, yeah, he probably doesn't want his. Does he ever mention that weekly analysis? Yeah, I'm not sure if he ever mentions that. The thing is, I wish he made like a day, like a video, like a 20-minute video of him explaining what actually you can trade and like just the basics. Like, yeah, these are futures, this is Forex, this is crypto, blah, blah, blah. You can trade here, here, here. I do it here, 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 and here. He's like, what, Forex Factory, whatever the hell that means. And this is, what site is this? That's TradingView. And like, I'm just not sure because like he keeps mentioning so much stuff that I'm just kind of lost in what he's saying. I mean, I'm not lost. It's just that I wish he explained what he's trading and like what he does before any of this. Like he could like, I mean, he might have mentioned it somewhere before on his channel. I haven't watched any videos before. Well, I mean, I've seen some like day in the life videos and like day trading videos, but I haven't watched anything before like this bootcamp. Like nothing time-wise. Like date of published time-wise. So, yeah, I mean, that might just be a problem on my part. I'll try to find somewhere to learn and understand. Actually, I'll probably be posting a video in the morning where I'll just be like doing some work, just looking at the charts, just probably looking up how to trade futures, what futures are, where to trade, etc., etc. I'll just post that tomorrow since this is day 5, and then tomorrow is gonna be day 6. Well, in the morning at least, and yeah, I missed today. I missed this Saturday, but I was thinking maybe I should give myself one day of like break each week. Like maybe I can like at least one, like for example, a Saturday or a Sunday or a Friday. Doesn't matter what day. Just like one day of me not sitting on my PC, not looking at charts, not doing this because I don't want to overwhelm myself with too much info. I want it to actually sit in my brain and like actually make some sense. I don't want to every day, oh he did that, and then like just sit here in front of my PC for like 8 hours a day like an idiot and think that I can do it all in like a month. I mean, I have time. I want to do this. So I think it'll be fine for me to have like a day or two of rest a week. Just like not being on my PC, going out, doing whatever. Like that was yesterday, for example. I wasn't on my PC at all. I was with my girlfriend. She slept over and we went to a birthday party, blah blah blah, whatever. We had a nice time and I just didn't get on my PC. I wanted to, but I didn't. And yeah, I also want to thank you guys for I saw, as I said, it might not be a lot, but I saw that we got like a few hundred views, even subscribers, even some people commenting on my videos, likes. Well, it might not seem like a lot. It means a lot to me that actually some people are like seeing my videos, because that's the point of this channel. I didn't make this channel to become popular, to become a crypto guru or whatever. I made it so that somebody could come from another channel or from recommended from something, or just a friend of mine, I don't care who, and give me a tip on what I can do, what I can try to do. For example, I heard somebody told me that I'm going way too fast. That's why I'm bringing up having time to rest and having time to actually let it sit in my brain. And also somebody mentioned on my last video that I posted yesterday futures and this and that, and that's why I wanted to introduce futures. I heard about them online, and I mean, I've read about them, but I never understood what TGR was actually trading, and that's why I just blindly went for forex and I haven't even thought about futures. But I think I'll try to stick to futures and actually do something with it. But yeah, let's continue with this video.
Right? Because if you don't know where price wants to go for the day, you're going to lose. If you cannot understand where price wants to go for that single day, and you are trading intraday trades, if most of your trades last a couple hours, if not a couple minutes, you need to know where price wants to go on the day. Okay, and that's where understanding and knowing the trend matters. Okay, you have to be able to understand that. Yeah, use your trend to your advantage. Okay, when looking for small time frame trades, that's what I have written down. Okay, let's see if I missed anything.
All right. God, writing these notes makes me feel like I'm in primary school writing notes and fucking math class. But yeah.
Where's the market going? You understand that, right? Literally just by reading the trend. And guys, like something that really helped me when I was first learning this. Look, simplifies the fuck out of it. Where's the market going? High, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, low. Right? Oh, we get a trend shift, right? High, low. Oops, let me remove this. Right? We see high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, not a lower low. Okay, we push a little bit higher, continue, right? And when that happens, right, what can we assume? It's just a retracement on a higher time frame. Now what's this? High, low, lower high, lower low.
This is
okay,
monthly.
Right? We're understanding. Okay, and then boom, right? What happens? High gets pushed above. Now what? Higher low, higher high. Big dive. Okay? Use the line chart to your advantage. Okay? Like if we're looking at the 15, we scale down into this. Can tell you, right? Doesn't this look a lot simpler? To be honest,
Yeah,
some of you guys really
does.
should be using this. Right? This makes this shit so much easier. Right? Oh, we're looking for it to hit equilibrium. Let's not get caught up in all the candlesticks. Okay, perfect. We're in a premium right now. Now what are we looking for? Okay, we're looking for a
What the
trend
hell is an
shift
equilibrium?
on the 5 minute. Okay, or the 15 minute, whatever you want.
Wait, sorry for pausing this. Right. Equilibrium mean. What the hell does that mean? What the oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, we're just waiting for these lows to get pushed down below, right? We're doing this,
Okay.
we're chopping up, we're consolidating right now because this was from Friday, right? Market just ended. It needs some volume to come in today because today is Sunday during an Asian session, during Asian session and London session. And then once New York session kicks in, we'll be able to understand where price wants to go from there. But some of you guys could really benefit from taking out the color of the candlesticks, okay, and just identifying, right, where's price going? It's super easy just to zoom out on a high time frame and just look. Where was market going? Down. So why in the world would you want to look for longs in this? We're looking for shorts. Notice how, right, the moves higher are always smaller than the moves lower. The moves higher are always smaller than the moves lower. If you measure it in every single trend, because that's how trend works, right? That's how trends work. Lower highs, lower lows.
Yeah.
The lows are always lower than the previous ones. The highs are always lower than the previous highs. The highs are not going higher in a downtrend. And same thing with an uptrend, right? In an uptrend, the lows are not going lower than the previous lows. It's higher highs and higher lows. So why are we trying to trade the opposite things? Move with the momentum, move with the trend, and you will be able to catch bigger, longer, higher time frame moves on a smaller time frame. Okay? That is what this is all about. Okay? This was a very, very simple exercise and very simple thing. But hopefully you guys learn from this, and please do not forget it. Because I know I forget it occasionally, and that's when I lose trades. That's when I fuck up. Okay, and my biggest recovery from like having like a losing week. My losing week was because I was getting so caught up in the small time frames. I was not looking at the high time frames. I didn't even care where the higher time frames wanted to go. I didn't care at all. Okay? But that was my issue. Okay, the second that I can start understanding, okay, the higher time frame wants to do this, how can I find an optimized entry to ride that next wave that comes down, right? To ride that next boom, fucking dump, waterfall down. When can I get that next? Okay, that's how you can get those good, high risk to reward, high quality, high probability trades. Okay, so do not take these early lessons lightly. I know you guys really want to jump right into the strategy, but trust me, the strategy is purely a step-by-step plan on how to execute. If you can't understand this, if you can't understand what price is telling you through candlesticks, what makes you think that you will know when to enter a trade if you don't even know where the market's going in the first place? Because the step-by-step rule, all those steps, those can be applied in either direction, high or low, or going higher or going lower, right? I can find a trade in both directions using that strategy on the same move, right? It's understanding where the market wants to go, though. Okay. You have to understand where market wants to go. Okay, trade with the direction of the market because the market isn't going to move for you, right? We see people blowing up their screens. Please go higher, please bull, right? But like the market isn't going to listen to you. It's going to do what it wants, and it's going to follow its own path. Okay, so with that being said, homework for today. I literally just want you guys to go on whatever pair you use and identify for this upcoming trading week. Okay, because this is going to be posted on Monday. All right. Identify.
Okay, yeah, it's a Sunday right now, so that works out perfectly.
Where you think price is going to go? Okay, make a prediction. Okay, based off of what you know currently, or just the bare minimum that you learned so far from this course. Okay, identify where you think price wants to go for the week. Okay, and then after that, scale down to a lower time frame, and then identify. Okay, right. So you're going to start off. Where does price want to go for the week?
Okay.
Okay, make that prediction. Write it down. Please journal this. Write down where you think price is going to go. Choose just one or two pairs. Okay, it can either be in the S&P 500, gold, GJ, GU, whatever you want. Okay, just identify where you think price wants to go for the week. Okay, and then once you do that, once you identify this is where price wants to go for the week, cool. Once you do that, scale down to the daily. Then say, okay, where is price going to go in the next couple of days?
I wasn't really. I was zoned out for a bit. I'm sorry.
Okay, it can either be in the S&P 500, gold, GJ, GU, whatever you want. Okay, just identify where you think price wants to go for the week. Okay, and then once you do that. Once you identify this is where price wants to go for the week, cool. Once you do that, scale down to the daily. Then say, okay, where is price going to go in the next couple days? Because you can make an accurate prediction on the week, but does that mean you'll be able to be accurate on these lower time frames? You know? Okay, so where does it want to go in the week? Where is the draw of liquidity? And we'll talk about that sooner or later. Okay, eventually, right? We just need to cover these super simple things first. Okay, where does price want to go in the week? Where does price want to go in the next couple days? And then where does price want to go today? Where is price going to go today? And then, if you are capable, if you already know my strategy, if you already know how to trade, draft up a trade based off of those biases. And it only has to be just one trade, okay? Right? Where do you think price is going to go for the week? Perfect. Do you understand that bias? Now, where is price going to go the next couple days? Perfect. Do you understand that bias? Okay. Where is price going currently? Where is price going currently, right? Everything on gold says it's going to go down, but currently price is going up. So what's it giving us an opportunity to do? Find an area in which we can
find
go
a nice
short.
entry.
Okay, so we're going to look for an opportunity to project where price wants to go. I don't even want you to draft up a trade. I don't want you to have a stop loss. I don't even want you to set up this position thing on it. I literally just want you to use the forecast tool, drag it from wherever price is at right now, and show where price wants to go. Just like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that. And it's okay if price goes a little bit higher and then fulfills your targets. Okay, because at least you knew where price wanted to go. Right? The execution will come later, and we'll talk about when we know when price is going to change direction in the market. But this is a great step, and this is a great learning point. Okay, do this on one or two pairs, right? Choose whatever your favorite two pairs are, or if you only trade one pair, only do on that one. If you trade three...
Wait. It looks so weird. Okay, so let's finish the video first.
Three pairs, only do it on two of them and throw the third one out. Okay, you only need to be focused on one or two pairs this entire boot camp. What makes you think you can...
I'll probably just be doing S&P 500 to be honest, or NASDAQ. Probably S&P 500, I guess.
And understand multiple asset classes if you're already losing on 10 of them. Okay, if you're losing on every single one of them, wouldn't it make sense for you to try and slow it down, to try and simmer down, right, and try and focus on just one of them first instead of trying to study 10 or 20? It probably would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, let's get to work. All right, do your homework. I advise you guys to experiment with the line chart to help understand direction, right? Because it's really easy just to scale back on these higher time frames and literally just look. Where is price going? Right, 4 hour. Where is price going? It's going fucking down. Okay, over here. Where is price going? It's going fucking up. Okay, where is price going? It's going down. Okay, where is price going? It's going up, right? Very easy, right? You don't even have to get all up in your head. Where's the high, low? Just look. Where is market going? Right? It's as simple as that. And we'll get to execution later. Okay. So with that being said, get your fucking homework done right after you watch this video. Okay. Make sure you keep trying to master your mind. Make sure you keep trying to improve. Okay. And if you're watching this video, I already know you're trying to improve. So that's good. Good for you. Keep after it. Stay strong. Let's get this shit. All right. Peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. What's good, guys? Well.
Goal setting. Okay. We're gonna be watching this tomorrow. I see he changed his stuff. But okay. So let's look at SP 500. Why is it? Okay, whatever. Anyways, so not indicators. Let's move to a 1-day chart. And let's see. Actually, I want to make the. Better for me to make this like white, not like. I know it might be stupid. It's just pissing me off. Just annoying. Options. Yeah, no. Settings, is there a way? Template. Canvas. What the hell did I do? Wait. Okay, whatever. It's not important right now. Let's see. Well, let's. Remove two indicators. I don't want anything. Okay, let's look at the line chart. Okay, so. Price, it was going up. Let me change this color to be like white. Then it started going down. Now it's retracing back up. Okay. What about the weekly? Yeah, same thing. What about a 4-hour chart? Yeah, literally same thing. Okay, let's see a 1-hour chart. So yeah, it's going up. What about like a 30-minute chart? Same fucking thing, man. Yeah, it's going up. CJR said. Let's see. Let's go to like a 5-minute time frame. And I think, where is the forecast to? Oh, forecast. I think it's gonna be going up. I'm not sure to where it's gonna be going up. I just think it'll be going up. I have no clue to where or what I'm trying to. No, not black. What color can I'll make this like green. I think it'll go up. Maybe it'll like dip down to like. I don't know if it'll dip down. Let's see, just from right there to right there. I'm not sure if that's like a realistic thing. Why wouldn't it be? It's been going up, 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 up. Had a break structure and now it's going back. So yeah, it might be going back up. I think that's gonna be happening. That's in 3 days. What the fuck? Maybe not 3 days, maybe I should. No matter, the time doesn't matter. I just think it'll keep going up. That's what I think. Let's go to like a daily chart. I think it'll just keep going up. That's what I think. Let's see. Let's go down to a smaller time frame. Let's go to like a minute time frame. Okay, what the fuck? Okay, what the hell? Let's get it. The forecast. No, what? Where is it? Wait. Forecast. I think it'll be going up. I don't know how much, but I just think it'll be going up. Yeah, so I guess this is probably gonna be the pair that I'm gonna be trading. This was the what's it called, the homework he was talking about. Let me just look at something really quick. Where to trade futures. Just don't know where.
Love, so I use TradeStation and I have no complaints. It's got low commissions, excellent customer service, and I can use it for futures.
TradeStation. What the hell is this? Can you guys see? Yeah, you probably can. Okay, I'm just not doing that. What states are in here now? For example, my country just isn't on here, which already tells me enough. Yahoo Finance. Okay, I'll look for that tomorrow, but this is my prediction, because as we saw on the higher time frames, like let's say the weekly time frame, it just wants to go up. Well, to be honest, has this ever gone down? That actually is kind of stupid. Maybe I shouldn't try doing that here. Let's look at gold. What the fuck? Okay, wait. Remove all my drawings. I don't want to remove all my drawings though. Can I hide them? But yeah, but on all of the charts, it always just keeps going up. Maybe I shouldn't be looking at the weekly chart. Maybe I should be looking at the hourly chart. But still, even on this chart, it wants to go up. It's going up. Okay, I had like a reach trade. It did have a break of structure right here though, so it went down, creating a lower low and a lower high. So yeah, actually I might be wrong. This might be going down. Not exactly sure, because like what am I supposed like? Broke structure, but it's gonna go up. I think it'll just keep going up. I think it'll just keep going up because of the way that it's just this, like Anyways, yeah. This video is gonna be really fucking long, but wait, this was just too tired. This video is gonna be really long. I'm not sure if you guys can even see this all that well, but I'll try to fix my camera. It's probably because it's dark and this, but yeah, you guys can see all the stuff that's basic. Anyways, yeah, that's it from me for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys later.